Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. It's Tuesday, y'all. Man, like I said, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Roundtable Talk Show on the Knowledge is Power Network. If you don't know, you better tell somebody. This is the Roundtable Talk Show. I'm your host, Christopher Unk Jones, and we are coming to you live as always. Again, like I said, it's another Tuesday. And we got somebody special up in the place. I want you to know. Um, but before we get there, I definitely want you to know tonight, especially if you've been following the past few shows, it's been really auditing not just things that's going on politically, but things that are also going on civically. And so we've been pulling audits on everybody, all people, including ourselves as community. But tonight, I definitely want to pull the audit into the home. And so, like I said, if you were made privy to previous episodes, the last episode, I know for sure, money, power, respecting the informant that's within, or the informant that's in the house, definitely gave insight on Black money, Black influence, Black movement. And we were asking why we are still falling or failing to become durable Black power, right? And so tonight, episode 71 asks the question nobody really wants to ask out loud, or even make mention out loud. And so the question is, how in the hell are we going to build strong Black communities when too many of our households, and I do mean households as a collective, are broken, right? Secretive, exhausted, unprotected, emotionally unsafe, if you will, and one emergency, I do mean one emergency away from falling completely apart. Um, See, we love talking community. We love talking community. We love talking Black power. We love talking, Black ownership, um, generational wealth. Like that's something easy to come by. But some folks are preaching economics, pooling in public while hiding debt from the person that's sleeping on the side of them.
Mm, mm,
Some folks are demanding discipline from community leaders while raising hell inside their own home or in their own relationships. Some folks are talking about protecting the next generation while building companionship with no plan for children, housing, illness, caregiving or respite care, conflict, resolve, or inheritance. So tonight we're not playing cute. This is not about who is the prize, especially the prize bull in the relationship. This is not about who should submit, who pays for the date. This is not about a soft life, dusty men, high value men, modern women, passive or regressive brothers, provider, and that's not what this is. Feminine energy, masculine leadership, or whatever recycled hot take most try to do, um that's trending in today's conversations. That's not what we're about. So um Tony, we got somebody backstage. Bring the other guest up if you could, please, sir. But I definitely want to be painfully clear, y'all. I want us to understand that this episode again is not telling anybody to stay in abuse or anything of that nature. If it's violent, deceitful, exploitative, controlling, manipulative, spiritually destructive, or even unsafe to you and whoever your offspring, your children. We are not calling that Black unity. That's not Black love. Black love is very strong. Black love is very powerful. Tony, can we get our guest that's backstage? Yeah. So we call that danger, y'all. Leave it, leave with wisdom. Leave that situation with protection. Leave with a plan. But don't let anybody, and I do mean anybody, use black love as a chain around your neck or shackles on your feet. Tonight is about something deeper, y'all. Tonight is about pressure because love does not live outside of the economy. It doesn't. Rent come to the house. Rent come home, y'all. Debt comes home. Um, Child care comes home. Gas prices hitting the bedroom. I promise. Job instability comes home. A sick parent, especially one that we have to take care of as a collective. Yeah, that comes to the house. A late utility bill comes to the house. And when all that pressure gets inside the house, it does not always say, hello, I'm economic instability. It doesn't introduce itself proper. It starts sounding like, you know, you change, you don't respect me. You always got an attitude, you never listen, you never help. You too hard for a female. You want to be so independent, or you too weak. You're not man enough. You're not woman enough. And now two people who should be fighting the pressure outside of the home together are fighting each other like the pressure has a face and it's theirs. That's the trick, y'all. That's the trick we want to point out tonight. The broke empire sends the bill home. The convenient then convinces black people, black men, black women, black children even to become each other's collective collection agency. And the numbers ain't fantasy. Consumer prices have been told to be up at least 3.5% from 1 year earlier. Food increase, electricity increase, energy increase, gasoline jumped, like I said, 26 point what, 7%, if not 30. The national unemployment rate is 4.2%, but black unemployment was 6.6%, y'all. Only 38% of black people had enough emergency services to cover 3 months of expenses. Black home ownership was around what, 44%, while non-white home ownership, I'm sorry, non-Hispanic white home ownership was around 75%. 21% of black adults were regularly providing unpaid care to an aging disabled adult or family member. Some people even paying second mortgages. I mean, so don't tell me love is just about communication, because obviously that's not the case. Sometimes communication is the smoke. The fire is fear, it's debt, shame, exhaustion. The fire is if a man thinking his money, if his money drop, his manhood drops with it. The fire is a woman thinking if she softens just a little, she might not survive. That's the fire of two people trying to love each other outside an economy designed to drain, isolate, and then sell their pain back to them. Drop your city in the chat, drop your city in the comments, tag somebody who can handle grown folks' conversations, and tell them I say huddle up. Answer this before we get started, though. When black relationships collapse, what usually breaks first? What usually breaks first? Is it the money? Is it the trust? Is it the truth? Or is it the plan that both of us had as a collective? Let's get to work. I'm gonna bring in my crew right fast, set up this table. Man, I'm excited for tonight. I got both of them on tonight, and I know it's gonna be crazy. I know it's gonna be crazy. No, let me stop. All right, first up, my big sister, Dr. Catherine Campbell. Say good evening to the people, Queen.
Good evening, people.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Dr. Campbell brings wisdom with edges on it. I promise. She can hold compassion in one hand and correction in the other at the same time. And tonight we need that because big sis, this conversation can get messy, messy fast. Queen, I be knowing. Say good
How
evening
y'all
to the
doing?
people.
Good
Yes,
evening, everybody.
indeed.
Good evening.
Yes,
I'm glad to be
indeed.
here. I'm glad to be
It,
here to be with y'all.
I'm glad you here, little sis. I'm glad you back. You know what I'm saying? Now listen, I be knowing does not sound like somebody who came to decorate the conversation. She sounds like somebody who came to name what everybody felt, but nobody wanted to say. Sharp, intuitive, spiritually tapped in. I want y'all to know, bold enough to bring heat without losing wisdom. Little sis, welcome back to the Roundtable Talk Show. Hey, my little brother, man. Jay know the sun god. Say good evening to the people, brother.
Hey, peace, family. Good to be here.
Yes, indeed. Y'all already know that name already walks in with the lights on. You hear me? Jay know the sun god brings that brother perspective, right? That pressure, tested energy, if you will, the ability to step outside of the noise and say, hold up, wait. Your ability to even be kind to who you with, right? Especially when you're scared. If tax if versus high prices, thin savings, unequal employment across the board, male and female, especially black male and female. Childcare, eating like who is still building that security.
Hold on to your seat because I'm going to break this down with zero fluff.
Uh-oh.
The security demand, that's 90% of it. It's math, not a mood.
Hmm.
A black woman's paycheck still buys less than a white man's for the same job. She often has to support her parents and her kids on one income. When she says I need security, she means if I lose my job tomorrow, can we keep the lights on?
Mm. Searching for somebody to rescue them from debt, loneliness, parenting pressure, family dysfunction, or a life they have not stabilized themselves.
Mm, mm, mm.
I think it's the latter part. I think a lot of people are seeking for people to fill in their blanks.
Mm,
A lot of people don't sit with themselves long enough to even know what they need,
mm,
to
mm,
even know what voice they
Mhm.
need to feel within themselves. A lot of people are not sitting with their generational cycles. A lot of people are not sitting
Mm,
with their own traumas. A lot of people are not
mhm,
sitting with their own inadequacy. You know, a lot of
mhm.
people are looking for parents to
Mm,
come.
come
You
on
know,
now.
they want you to think for them.
Mhm.
They want you to do. They want you to do. You know, they want a person. They don't want to use their brain. I see a lot of videos, even on social media, where you'll hear a woman saying, "I got with this man, and I felt so comfortable. I didn't even have to think for myself." Sister, why wouldn't you want to think for
For
yourself?
yourself, really. Mhm.
Why would you want to be in a situation where you're not thinking for yourself? Why would you want to be so codependency? It's a lot of
mm,
codependency that's going
Mhm.
on with these so-called relationships. There's a lot of marriages that stand together due to codependency
mm-hmm,
because they can't stand alone. So I would definitely go with the latter part of that part of that question, because it's definitely not about the love now. It's definitely
mm,
it's long lost, you know.
mm.
It's long lost and very rare and short, few and in between.
Man,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. J-No?
I would definitely say it's a lot of transactional love going on. I must certainly agree that people aren't looking for they're not looking for genuine connections anymore. It's just what
Uh-huh.
can you do for me to fill in that gap, to fill in the blanks, and how can you build me up, opposed to basically trying to build themselves up and become the best version of themselves. That everybody's looking for saviors in most of these
Oh.
relationships instead of saving themselves. So I definitely agree that yeah, To find that I can't even say grandparents' love, because I feel like they love was a little bit different too. They love was probably on the same, as you start digging and digging more, their love was in that same type of realm. So it's
Right.
very rare, very rare. You know, I think
Mhm.
only until you
Man.
truly love yourself and your partner love, whoever they is, they love themselves, that you can finally find a true bond, a relationship where it's no longer transactional.
Mm.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And y'all hit that like right on the mark because in today's in today's dating pool and society, folks aren't looking for love, right? They're looking for relief. And that relief is not the same as a partnership,
No.
right? A partner can help you find whatever it is that you're looking for. It could help you build. A partner can cover you in hardships. You know what I'm saying? These things that we mentioned.
I can
But a
tell.
partner cannot be a bailout plan. That's not what a partner is. That's a rescue. That's 911. And if you need healing, say that you need healing. If you need rescue, say you need rescue. If you need help, say you need help. But don't call it, oh, I love this person, and then push somebody, or punish somebody for not saving a life, your life, or the things that you were trying to secure on your own and couldn't find it. That's how relationships turn into emergency rooms. I mean, like, yeah, y'all hit that right on the head. And then like y'all said, everybody gets mad when the other person was never trained to perform surgery. I heard Jano say, like your grandma didn't show you real and true genuine love, right? Or your grandfather or your dad even, didn't show you true and genuine love. And so like now, yeah, y'all hit that on the mark. Perry, you ready for your shot? Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
When black unemployment remains nearly twice the white rate, how dishonest is it to discuss the provider problem as though every black man is competing on an equal economic field? And where does unequal opportunity stop being an explanation and personal irresponsibility begins?
When I first read that, the first thing I thought about was how you framed it, and it was more of a traditional family framing, and those of us who look at the father as the primary provider in the house, which is accurate. But we do know that we live in a society that is definitely a two parent, a two parent, working two parent
Mm,
household, and sometimes a two parent, three job, two parent, four job work household. Um, but when we look at this, and I like the way you went into the unequal employment uh scope of this, because one of the things, while we can definitely look at the past and speak to where we've come from, uh we do need parents, we do need men that are looking toward the future,
mm,
because everything that we've talked about has been about building, and building is about a future.
correct.
And when we look at this unequal employment, Forbes just this past week stated that, with the unemployment numbers that you quoted, that now we are seeing, and now we beginning to hear that, yeah, there are not while companies are not hiring, we're also seeing the game being played on unemployment numbers,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because we see that fewer people are going to seek unemployment, And the way the system is playing the unemployment game now, uh, the unemployment numbers now, you will see them become more steady because unemployment is based off of job availability.
Right. And not in
And
people
now the
employed.
system is starting to take them jobs off because they're saying them jobs not even coming back. So let's not even
Correct.
talk about
Correct.
those being unemployment. So even in this time where of tariffs and high inflation, we're seeing unemployment remain steady.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Mm-hmm.
what does that do? I mean, we can talk about the numbers, but what does that do to the household?
Right.
Uh, uh, where we begin to look at that, and where Dr. Campbell and I be knowing, speaking from our strong female partnership perspective, what we're seeing now is it's not just the father who's finding it hard, but when this administration took jobs away from the federal government, that was mostly our black female.
Correct. I was waiting for you to get there.
So now we see a household that going back, yes, it does. It brings more stress. It brings more of this. How are we going to make it?
Yeah.
And so, how does Black love begin to make it in that? Black love has to start making it by, again, reframing its future.
Correct. Correct.
And if I can be just a little personal in this, for at least 30 years of my professional life, I've been a consultant. And while that sounds nice, and while when it pays, it does pay good.
Yeah.
We see now that as a consultant, I've experienced times when there has been 6 months between pay cycles. And
Correct.
so while I can't come home and say, baby, these nobody's hiring. No, in the meantime, I've had to work on FedEx trucks. I drive them, unpack them.
Yeah.
While I've had to in between that time, while I've had to uh work at Circle K in the midnight hour.
And thank you, Lord, for Circle
and work
K.
and work and work and work and work with my Iranian brothers and on the side. Uh, that's where that black love begins to come through, because it's not about uh the candlelight dinners. It's not about the weekends
Yeah.
getaway. It is really, baby, how we gonna make it through this, and that survival. Out of survival comes true love.
Yes.
And I think that that's something that my generation, again, when we have to take inventory of the things that we have handed down, uh how do we establish and maintain love in tight and unright situations?
Mm, man. Now that's the grown folks answer right there. But I mean, like you said, that the field is, is not equal at all, at all. But unequal conditions, especially in our community, y'all, do not cancel personal responsibility. If we only talk system, and we dodge accountability. If we
Mm.
only talk accountability, we lie about the system. Both truths have to sit there. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? I
Both
appreciate
are
that.
true at
That,
the
like,
same time.
That's real. That's real.
correct. Yeah. Dustin, you ready for your shot, little brother?
Indeed.
If a man has taught, if a man has been taught that his value is measured by income, What happens to his honesty, intimacy, identity, and behavior when that income disappears?
mm, mm.
All right, I'm no psychologist, but Miss Luper will say I had high scores in her class, so I'm gonna give it a shot.
Who told
So,
you that?
Miss Luper,
Shout out Central City High
That was my
School.
favorite teacher. That was my favorite teacher, Miss Looper. I love
I
Miss Looper.
promise to God. Yes, indeed.
Please, please be so kind as to pull your pants up above your trousers, please.
Man, go ahead, Dust.
but if I was to give it a shot, and if a person was to believe that about themselves, which they shouldn't, I believe it will hit them in three parts. One, identity crisis, loss of
Mm,
Mm,
purpose, shame and guilt, role confusion of what's going on in his household. Two,
mm-hmm,
Mhm,
impact on behavior and honesty, financial
mhm,
infidelity, isolation, aggression, and defensiveness.
yeah,
Simple questions gonna trigger them.
mhm,
Three, strain on intimacy,
mm.
mm,
emotional distance,
true, mhm,
decreased affection, communication breakdown. All those things can hit you real hard when you get confused about who you are.
mhm,
Absolutely. And who you with? Who you with?
mm,
That's the quiet danger, though. You know what I'm saying? Some men don't just lose money, bro. They feel like that loss uh has meaning. That whole loss has meaning to them, and inside. And when shame gets louder than the truth, the whole house stays paying for it or praying for it.
mm,
Man, a man can be a man can be trying and still be silent. But silence under pressure can look like abandonment, especially for
mhm,
some females that be like, "You too nonchalant." I get that all the time. You nonchalant. I'm probably that way for a reason. Somebody pull me up.
Why are black men and women auditing each other's pockets harder than we audit the economy, emptying them? And why are so many people demanding financial transparency while lying about what they owe, earn, spend, and can actually afford?
Yes, indeed. Pull up to the table. I need y'all to scoot in a little bit. I need y'all
I'm
to
getting my
even raise your
pen.
hand and receive it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we have become investigators in the relationship and spectators of the system. That's backwards. That's bass backwards, especially for those of us that have some
Mhm.
structure, at least some insight. We question each other income before we question the conditions draining both incomes. Most of the times we be living outside our means.
Mm, mm,
But the whole time we're interrogate each other for spending before we ask why your wages is like that? How much is the rent? What about childcare, food, transportation, insurance, and healthcare keep squeezing the household? The economy didn't make you lie. The system didn't make you cheat. Inflation didn't make you hide debt. And childcare, I know for sure, as high as it is, that don't make you disappear, or it shouldn't make you disappear. And a hard job market didn't make nobody weaponize money, sex, children, silence, scripture even, because y'all play in Jesus' face just like y'all be playing in everybody else's face. So y'all throw that scripture when it's convenient for y'all, and then some even questions the person masculinity or femininity, especially if it's a man trying to embrace you in the feminine with the feminine energy. You completely lose yourself, or somebody's yeah private plan that I'm not conducive enough to. That's still on you. I don't care. I said that today. I don't give a care how many people are in this relationship. You are still singular. You are a singular individual. The conditions explains the pressure. Yes, they do not excuse the damage, especially if you coming in this thing like I be knowing said. You coming in here damaged. You coming in here with your hand out. You coming in here with great expectations and ain't put nothing in it. But I will
Mm.
not pretend love lives in a fantasy world untouched by economic realities. I will not do that. And I refuse to even have this show on this particular topic and not even address that because pressure affects people. Pressure exposes people. Pressure reveals who can
Mm, baby.
communicate and who can only perform. Pressure will tell you who you really got on your side, who is building and who is just enjoying access to somebody else's stability. I promise pressure will tell you who you with.
Mm,
That's
mm,
why we have to audit all of it. Inside the house, outside the house, and the broader community. The broader community, especially the broader community. Audit the person you're building with. Audit yourself, especially yourself. Audit the debt, the secrets, the fear, the pride, the spending, the family pressure. Because I know a whole bunch of people that goes into relationships and even married, and all their family is in that marriage. Audit the wounds you keep calling standards. That's not standards. I be knowing told y'all just a second ago, your grandma didn't love you. Dustin always let y'all know the baby is ugly. So I'm just saying, I'm just pointing these things out now. So don't jump off the bridge because the control you keep trying to call protection is not there. Stop calling your silence peace because that's not what that is. The broken empire sent the bill to the house, but we do the most, and we don't have to turn on each other into the collection agency. We don't have to be that against each other. We have to stop personalizing structural pressure while also refusing to use structural pressure as excuse for personal harm. That makes sense. That's the mature line right there. That's the grown folks table. We should have told y'all to put the children to sleep, but it's too good. This is where healing starts, y'all, and it has to start in the house. Check question number one. What enters Black relationships and cause the most hidden damage? Put a one in the chat for financial instability. Put a two in the chat for shame and pride. Put a three in the chat for unrealistic expectations. Put a four in the chat for family and caregiving obligations. And put a five in the chat for all of it together. Drop your number in the chat. I'm going to be posting this in the chat. The roundtable question for this round, y'all, is when does asking a partner for security become healthy? Becomes healthy partnership, and when does it become demanding that another wounded person personally repair everything, the system, your family, and your previous choices that denied you? Dr. Campbell, you have the floor.
Okay, so for the chat question,
Hmm.
I say all of it together, and they feed on each other like a fire.
Hmm.
So, and I can
I
really
see
break
them
that down.
fives.
Yeah, I can break that down, but for the sake of time, I'm going to go on and go into the roundtable question. Yeah. Um, Here's the rule of thumb: healthy. I'm building, you're building. Let's stack our blocks together. Unhealthy says, my blocks fail. Here's a bucket of bricks. You fix it.
Mm.
The healthy security sounds like, I've got my bills, you've got yours. Let's plan. I'm scared sometimes, but I'm not putting that fear on you to cure.
Correct.
We're a team, not a rescue mission. All
Hmm.
that's healthy security, right? But unhealthy demands sound like I'm broken from my ex, my parents, and this economy. You need to make me feel safe, stable, and whole, or you're failing.
Hmm.
If you really loved me, you'd fix my credit, my stress, and my mama situation too. All that's unhealthy, okay? The line is you can ask your partner to hold your hand through the storm. You cannot ask them to build you a whole new house while you stand there with no tools. Healthy is let's figure this out. Unhealthy is you figure this out for me. If you're demanding your partner repair what life broke, you're not looking for love. You're looking for a volunteer therapist with benefits. That's not a
Hmm.
partnership. That's a hostage situation in slow motion. It,
Man,
yeah, that's not good.
man, fix my credit almost took me out. I be knowing you have the floor. You could answer the roundtable. I mean the chat question and the roundtable question following. But go ahead.
I agree with Doc. I think it's all
Hmm.
things as far as the chat question.
Hmm.
Everything. They all, and like she say, they all feed on each other.
Correct.
Um, but to go to the question, I think what's unhealthy is it just kind of goes back to what I stated the first time. It's a lot of fragmented people. A lot of people are
Mm.
fragmented and they're
Hmm.
looking for somebody to make them whole, you know. So when you have this fragmented person and this fragmented person and they looking for somebody to fill voids for them, it's going to always be unhealthy. That goes
Hmm.
financially, spiritually,
Hmm.
mentally, you know, just everything. And so the way a healthy relationship to me would look like is not saying that you're going to be a whole person, because none of us are all whole, right?
Correct.
We all still working on ourselves. Like nobody's perfect, but at least be able to take some type of accountability when somebody calling you out on
Mhm,
whatever it is that you're doing. You know,
mhm,
at
Yeah.
least be able to put that mirror in front of yourself. I see a lot of people, and I've seen it, like when you could be in church, or you could be listening to a podcast or something. You may be sitting on side of somebody that's calling out some type of flaw, and then you got this person that's sitting there like, you know what? I know a person that do that. And then you looking at that person like, it's you. It's you. So how could somebody else come to mind? I'm the type of me person. I'm gonna go personal, right? I'm the type of person I always troubleshoot myself. When I see something that's going on with somebody that irritate me, or something that they do that's just kind of, oh, she always do that. Oh, that bothers me. I troubleshoot myself because I want to see if I be doing it to people. Am I
Hmm.
getting on people's nerves like that? Because she get on my nerves. Does she
mhm,
irritate me every time she do this? Or he irritate me every time I do this? So I have to troubleshoot myself, right?
Hmm.
Mirror myself up against this person, right? What they call it, the calibration, right? And I
Calibrate.
want to
Yeah.
calibrate myself up against this person to be sure that I'm not doing it. I'm not going to sit in the church house and look at the roof and think about somebody else when some toes are being stepped on. I'm gonna hold myself accountable
Correct.
first,
Correct.
you know. And so when I'm with my partner or whatever and they're calling me out on something that I'm doing, I'm going to take some time and I'm going to sit with that.
Hmm.
Now, I'm not going to just allow a person to just pin something on me that's not. I'm going to sit with it to make sure that you're not projecting, because we're not going to accept the projection either. You know, you're not
Yeah.
going to project your reality or your perspective on me, your unhealthy
Yes,
things,
indeed. Yes,
unhealed traumas
indeed.
onto me. So we going to sit with it. So that's what I think. I think that's what I know. Two whole
Yes,
people that's,
indeed.
that's trying to be whole come together. That's more healthier than looking for somebody to try to fill in your blanks.
Hmm.
mhm.
Hit it. I'm talking about hit it.
Mm.
Man. Jay, no, you got the floor.
Yes, sir. To the question, I do agree with every one of them. There's all five of them, but I will say probably in these times, these economic times, I can see finances being a major one for a lot of people. Also, it's statistically proven that finance or statistic research shows that finance is top one of the top three issues for a lot of relationships and struggles in a lot of relationships. Um,
Divorces. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I think that the best way a heal, a relationship going into it is a lot of transparency. Kind of again going what I was saying before is kind of knowing self first. I believe you should clearly know. You're not gonna 100% know yourself because you're learning yourself every day. You're gonna keep growing
Every
every
day.
day. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But you should really, I think, do your due diligence in order learning yourself, and then be able to be transparent with your partner where you at. I think that's healthy. To be able to say, hey, I've done the inventory on self. I've done the self check. This is where I'm strong at. This is where I need a little more balance in that. And
Right.
so also that way they can hold you accountable too. You've been transparent about where you at. So and vice versa. Uh, yes, sir.
Absolutely. Rather be able to communicate to my partner my flaws instead of you finding them out on Instagram.
Right.
Dustin,
Right.
Dustin, you got the. I'm sorry, Perry. Go ahead.
Uh, yeah, I'm gonna go with all five, but we do know, uh, as I often quote my favorite scripture, money is the answer to all things. So yeah, when financial instability uh enters the picture, yeah, it causes a lot of fractures. But going to your question, I keyed on one phrase in there, and you said demanding that another wounded person, not that wounded. You said another wounded person,
Lion, I
and
remember
so
it.
just let me say that you know uh, many of us, I won't say all of us, many of
Mm-hmm.
us
Mm-hmm.
uh walk into relationships, walk into marriage wounded. We are the walking wounded.
Mm-hmm.
um for our women, uh the wounds of a hurt of a past relationship
Mm.
that is never resolved. uh for our brothers, uh who I'm learning there are many brothers who have wounds from their childhood,
Facts.
especially
Mm.
those in single parent homes. And I'm not trying to pick on my women, in terms of that, but many of our young boys are wounded uh because of unhealthy relationships they witnessed as children, and so they bring this into relationships.
Right.
uh and so when we start to look at and wonder, well, why is Josephus acting crazy?
Mm. Mm.
Go back to the home that he grew up in.
Did you call that man Josephus, cuz?
Yeah,
Josephus,
go
why
see.
is Ella May? Why is Ella May acting a fool? We have to go back. We have to go back to the soil that brought them, and we keep
Mm-hmm.
acting as though we all want to say we self-made, but we are conditionally made as well.
Well, you heard what Josephus' cousin said. Dustin, you had the floor.
I'm not gonna speak from last time I was in the dating pool because that was over a decade plus ago. So I'm just
Plus.
yeah. So I'm just phrase this off of what I've been seeing around the way. Cause I'm a nosy person, so I keep a good eye out. Healthy is when both sides can, come to an agreement of what the security in their relationship actually means to each of them and together. Now, that demand and unhealthy part, from what I've been seeing recently, is from when these wannabe tricks think they could turn a hot girl summer or a hoochie daddy season into a wife or a husband.
Lord, baby.
I had died, and he better not. He done muted. He done muted.
He meant that, baby. Period. With a T. Yeah.
Man, Dustin, bruh.
He say, don't do it.
Golly, don't do it. Don't do it. I would say security is healthy when it's when it's honest, especially when it's honest. Security becomes dangerous when it becomes fantasy or make believe or conditional, right? A healthy person says I need stability. An unhealthy person says you owe me a life I never
Mm.
built for myself. Ah, make that make sense. A healthy person says, let's plan this thing out together. An unhealthy person will say, prove yourself to me while I hide my own stuff.
Shiggity.
Ooh, sagangadang. Why I hide my own stuff. You know what I'm saying? A healthy person says, I need consistency but an unhealthy person will say, if if you can't fix everything, you useless. Or I don't there's no need for me to even engage with you. Family, I want y'all to know real security, especially if you put it in somebody, is not just somebody having enough money to impress you. That's not security. That's impressions.
That is all.
I did not mean to laugh at y'all. I just want y'all to know that's what's going on. Real security is knowing the person beside you tells you the truth, regardless to even if the money is short. Real security is knowing that they will definitely not weaponize your weakness or your brokenness, right? Why you threw that in my face when I was trying to be vulnerable to you? Real security is knowing they will not disappear when pressure arrives because it's coming. We just heard not too long ago where federal employees, especially majority black women, were terminated from their jobs. Let me tell y'all what else leaves when you are a civilian working for the federal government. Benefits. That's gone. Real security is knowing they can say, I'm scared before the fear even becomes cruelty. That's partnership, y'all. And from what I'm hearing my crew talk about on the night, that's not rescue, that's not performance, that's not fantasy, that's security, that's partnership. The goal is to find somebody who can at least pretend life will never get heavy, knowing that it will. The goal is to build with somebody who does not become dangerous when the shiggity hit the fan. Thank you for that word I be knowing. That is the difference, y'all. And once we stop telling once we stop telling the truth about pressure, the gender war walks in and hands us a villain. Sometimes she got long hair, sometimes he got real hair. You heard what I said. Sometimes he got real hair. Cause I've
Mm.
seen a brother with a wig and I was like, wait, what? Is it glued? And he lifted. I was like, oh. But some women like
Got that
that.
spray. Got
I
that
have
spray
done
going.
Some
several
women like
installs,
that.
dear.
Well, see, See, I'm sorry. I'll just come back and let you go ahead and cut me on all the way off. How about it? But I definitely want y'all to know we stop telling once we stop telling the truth. That's about the pressure that we are enduring in and out of the relationship. The gender wars walk in and hand us a villain, and we can't always villainize each other because of the system and the promised pressures that comes with the system. All right, all right. Round two, round two. Um, Perry, who benefits when black men and black women become more fluent in insulting each other over other than in selecting wisely, communicating honestly, repairing harm, and building households?
Mm, mm.
Our oppressor. Um, that's who
Bingo.
benefits. And our oppressor,
I
whether
wasn't
that's the
expecting that one.
police, whether that's a unresponsive government, whether or not that's a, a, a employer that seeks to uh provide more demands than pay.
I wasn't expecting that
It's
one. Yes,
whatever
sir.
that oppressor is.
Mm-hmm.
And again, going back, we all like to quote this scripture: "Whatever man soweth, that shall he also reap."
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how much you claim that you just speak in truth. If you sowing lemon seeds and expecting watermelon, you're being unrealistic because you're sowing
Correct.
you sowing things that you aren't prepared to reap. The
Mm.
insulting leads to kids who are who
Mm-hmm.
are who have no idea of what a healthy relationship is.
Tell it,
You
Perry.
have a community that doesn't know how to have dialogue across their differences.
Yes.
And so and thinking about that, you say, well, how does that help? I mean, we're starting to look at our relationship like we shopping off of Temu. Uh and to my ability, I don't even know how to
See,
return stuff
We
on
said
Temu.
that. Mm.
I don't even know how to return goods on Temu. How do you even talk to customer service? So yeah, if you shopping on Temu and your relationship is a Temu relationship, I'm pretty sure it's going to be insulting. It's going to make that vile feeling rise up out of you because what you saw versus what you receive is not one and the same.
Don't they tell you to keep it?
If you break it, you own it. I
ooh,
thought that's what they said.
you
They
break,
don't
you
even
buy.
want it back.
You break, you buy. Man, golly. I be knowing. And Jay know the sun guard. Y'all ready for your shot? Period. Bruh, I'm gonna
Mm.
push you down. I'm gonna push you down, brother. Um, what belief about black men or black women or people repeating because it protects them from confronting their own poor choices, untreated wounds, unrealistic demands, or lack of discernment?
I would say, I would say all men are dogs. I would say all women, these women ain't worth a cigarette butt or whatever. Like
Oh,
however you want to say. You know, a lot of people, a lot of people project and they take their own experiences. And I want to be transparent because I've dated right? And I had to check even myself. So I'm gonna put myself on the chopping block because I feel like it's
Yeah.
something that a lot of people have been guilty of. You have a bad
Mm.
experience and you would like to put that jacket on everybody as a whole. But when you really sit with yourself, you got to ask yourself a couple of questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is it about me that attracts this type of person? Or not even attract, right? Because you can attract something that don't necessarily mean, because I hear a lot of people say, well, you are what you attract. I don't think that's true. You are what you
Yeah.
entertain, right? Because we could attract a lot of things, but that don't mean you have to necessarily entertain it. And it's a level of wisdom, it's a level of maturity, it's a level of self-love that you have
Mm,
to come to.
mm,
But you can't get to that unless you sit with yourself. So really just like putting a jacket on a certain gender as a whole due to your poor choices and experiences, I think that is something that people do that a lot. And that's something we
mm.
got to stop doing that. We got to stop doing that.
I
But
That's
agree.
what
Jay, no?
if you will briefly, I want to make sure I'm answering it to the T. If you will briefly just go over questions, you can real quick.
Sure. What belief about black men or black women or people repeating because it protects them from confronting their own poor choices, untreated wounds, unrealistic demands, or lack of discernments?
Mm.
Mm.
When I first heard the question, I thought about outside the race, but we're speaking about inside within the black community. I think it's just really truthfully a lot of lack of accountability. Uh, and people are really just projecting what they got going on instead of really um it's easier. It's easier to do that than to look at yourself, than to put the mirror on yourself, to
Yes,
uh
sir.
to sharpen yourself, um and to become a rough ashlar to a refined, you know, figure. So it and the thing with social media, it's easy. Everybody's a lot of attributes is based off of stereotypes, and when they see, they're already having the mindset this person is like that when they're not even like that. So you see a really just a lack of. It's at the end of the day, it's all self. I'm so big on understanding self. I know I've kind of repeatedly said that, but that is the most important piece. And that is the piece that people
Hmm.
do not grasp onto. It's so easy to go point towards somebody else, so easy to point the finger. And then to look at self. I'm always looking at self. I'm always asking these questions about self. Hey, what did I do? What could I have done better? I come from a athletic background, so I don't know if that comes from growing up in sports, where every day you're constantly always asking yourself, how can you be the better version of yourself? Looking at tape, looking at highlight films and stuff like that. But I believe that is the most important piece. And until we do that, those stereotypes are going to keep going back and forth. The finger point is going to stay going back and forth between each other.
Absolutely. That's the mirror.
Right.
From what I'm hearing, that's the mirror. Sometimes when we call wisdom, w- or what we call wisdom, isn't really wisdom. It's a hiding place. You know what I'm saying? It's easier to condemn a gender than confess, from what I'm hearing. True,
Yes, sir.
I chose wrong. Say it, confess it. It's easy to say all men are dogs, like Kiki, like I'm sorry.
I be knowing.
Like I be knowing, like I be knowing said. All men are dogs, all women are cheaters. And especially if you don't want to admit,
Mm.
you ignored character. You ignored the character of the individual when they showed you, when you saw the red flags, you didn't, you just kept going. You saw the caution sign and you kept going. Oh
Mm.
man. Oh man. Dustin, you ready for your shot?
Yeah, indeed.
Do people truly want companionship, or do they want a partner who confirms everything they already believe about the opposite sex.
Well, it really depends on the person and the factors in their
Hmm.
lives from them, coming up. Because, a few things. How are they raised? Because some people, you like to say nice things about your parents, but truth is, your parents usually raise a worse version of them.
You better
Also,
not mute. Oh, okay.
oh, I ain't done. Was there positive examples for them to see? Be it other family
Yes.
members, church people, heck, some people down the street, around the corner. Can that person take criticism? Or do they need
Yeah.
everything kid gloved? Is
Mm,
a person easily manipulated by others? Because that can be a factor as well.
correct.
Or, or
Low
do the
self
person just
esteem.
got horror in their DNA? Because everybody isn't
I
meant to
said
be in a
low self
relationship.
esteem. He say no, it's deeper than low self esteem. It's whore. WHORE.
And it's in your DNA.
That part.
That's for the 10-year-olds that's in the room that needed a real breakdown, huh?
Ah, go look it up. It's in the
Epigenetics.
Bible with
Epigenetics.
the genetics. You sitting amongst the what?
Hmm.
Dr. Campbell, you ready for your shot?
Yeah.
How much of what people call standards is genuine discernment, and how much is fear, control, social media performance, class anxiety, or a refusal to risk vulnerability?
80% fear and 20% real discernment. Maybe less. Here's the
Mm,
breakdown. Genuine discernment says, I need someone honest, kind, and who shows up. That's clean. That's smart. Fear says, he must have X job or she must be why wait. Because if they
mm,
don't check these boxes, you're scared you'll look stupid or end up broke. Control
mm,
says, if you don't do it my way, you don't love me. That's not a standard, that's a leash. Social media says, my boo must post me, buy me flowers, and never mess up. Otherwise, what will my followers think?
mm.
Class anxiety says, I can't date someone still building because my family will judge me and I need to prove I've made it. That's
At
crazy.
least,
Yeah, that's
at
crazy.
least.
Refusal to be vulnerable says, if I make my standards impossible, nobody gets close enough to hurt me.
At all.
So the bottom line is the real standards protect your peace, fake standards protect your ego. If your
Mm.
list sounds like a job application, it's probably fear. If it sounds like a character checklist, it's probably wisdom. Most folks confuse trauma with taste.
Hmm, hmm. I want you
Mm.
to know it. Dr. Campbell, pull me up.
If every failed relationship becomes evidence that an entire gender is worthless, are we healing or building an ideology that allows us to blame everybody except the person in the mirror?
Hmm, hmm. I would say we turn disappointment into doctrine. One man cheated. Not all men cheat.
Mm-hmm.
One woman lied. Not all women lied. Not all women. No woman can be trusted. One of your marriages failed. Now marriage is completely dead. And I could understand that because for some, well, Yeah, for some. Marriage is a very huge step. So I could understand that. Jay No is backstage, Tony. Oh man. Good evening to you, Roy. My bad. I didn't even see y'all. Yeah, but Jay No is backstage. Tony, if you could bring him back up. Um, what I was saying. One father disappeared. Your daddy never showed up. So now men do not raise their children. One mother, became bitter. Now women hate men. That is how wounds become religion, y'all. And especially in social media times of today, it it gets rewarded on particular platforms because outrage is easy. Healing is homework, y'all.
It is what.
Outrage just need Wi-Fi. That's it. Cut the Wi-Fi off, you're gonna create some more outrage. I mean, healing requires apologies, honest apologies. It requires truth, counsel, wise counsel, professional counsel, even. It requires, sitting with yourself, like I be knowing said, like J No said, like Dr. Campbell said, understanding self, like Dustin said, like everybody said it. It requires you sitting with yourself without an audience. Sit and listen to who you really are.
Mm.
Even how you breathe. Listen to how your heart beat. It requires admitting I ignored the red flags, the signs. Or even acknowledging that I was the red flag. I'm the red flag. Some people don't even want to acknowledge that. It
Mm.
requires admitting I wanted rescue, not partnership.
Mm.
It somebody reach out to Tony and ask him to bring up J No, please. Healing requires admitting I called it standards, but it was fear. It requires admitting I called it leadership, but it was control. I thought she was, I thought we was, but the whole time I was under control. You was hypnotized, or like, never mind. I almost said it. Yes, indeed. I almost said it. I almost said it. But that's what that is. It's it requires admitting I called it peace, but at the same time I was silent. I chose to stay silent. That's not gonna go viral, especially when you yourself or like really admitting who and how you become because of some scarred tissue. I tell people, even in the dating game, I'm damaged goods. I'm a dented canned good with no label. You might get peaches today, and tomorrow you might get peas. You
Oh no.
never know. Yeah, that's how it is. That's how it is.
Recognition is the
But
first
you
step to
can't.
recovery.
Right. But it can't save a household, especially if you don't acknowledge it. So no, I don't trust every viral gender take or jab. I don't trust every man with a microphone or every woman with a podcast. I don't trust I don't trust every podcast clip edited to make us angrier than we were before we even watched it, which is one of the reasons I follow the Disconnect podcast. Y'all should check that out on YouTube and other platforms as well. these are two great hosts that discuss these types of issues. And I want y'all to know that I heard something that y'all brought into a conversation on your podcast, and I was seeing something happen in real time, and it birthed this show. And so I want y'all to know y'all contribute to our community. Keep doing what it is that y'all doing on that podcast, because some folks are not trying to heal Black companionship.
Mm.
They are forming resentment, and the harvest is loneliness. Black men are not the enemy. Black women are not the enemy. But unhealed wounds can become weapons, especially if you entrust somebody to tell them about your unhealed wounds, and they use that as bullets in their weapon. And if we keep swinging those same weapons in the house, our children will inherit the damage and call it normal. I heard that tonight. That is why control cannot survive contempt. It cannot. Love cannot survive contempt. Relationships cannot survive contempt. It cannot survive disagreement, especially if we're not meeting on the equal front. They can survive financial imbalances. They can survive illnesses, hard sessions, especially again if there is that, what Jano said, accountability, self accountability, self repair, and change behavior are present, especially in the mirror that you looking in, is what I heard him say. But contempt,
Mm.
mocking your partner, speaking to them like they're stupid, publicly humiliating them, using income as superiority, or using sex as punishment. I'm gonna say that one again. Using sex as punishment. Right, right. Using children as leverage. I saw that when I was even in high school. And it's some people still doing it to this day. Using religion as you know, to ways to buffer or silence questions. Make that make sense. That's not how that's supposed to go in a relationship with the Most High. What? What? Using masculinity to dominate or femininity to manipulate. Using private wounds again as ammunition. I'll drive my finger in the very thing you were vulnerable to. Man, I'm telling y'all, that will rot a house from the inside out. You cannot create safety with somebody you secretly despise. Make that make
Mm.
sense.
Nah.
And you for damn sure cannot build a future with somebody you have already sentenced to death in your mind. Make that, yeah. See why I'm happily where I'm at? Check question number two. What has what has damaged Black companionship the most? Let us know. What has damaged Black companionship the most? Is it one, online gender warfare? Is it two, unhealed personal experiences? Is it three, rigid gender expectations? Is it four, poor partner selection and weak, and I do mean weak discernment? Or is it five, all of it above? Drop your number. Roundtable question number two is, what part of Black gender war survives only because too many wounded people would rather be proven right about the other gender than become honest enough to build healthy love? I'm gonna post this chat question in the chat. Y'all go ahead and get ready to answer that. Y'all go ahead, get ready for that. Dr. Campbell, you have the floor.
So, what has damaged Black companionship the most is all of it, and they're not separate problems; they're a loop.
Ah!
Yeah, yeah. And I'm just gonna
Okay.
I'm gonna give the end part of it, but I mean I could really go into that, but The damage isn't one thing, it's everything all at once, every single day. That's why it's so hard to break the habit.
Mm.
So, the roundtable question, let's see, what part of the Black gender war survives only because too many wounded people would rather be proven right about the other gender than to be honest about building a healthy love? The part where being right feels safer than being loved. The ugly truth is some folks need the other gender to be trash. Why? Because if black women or men are all worthless, then your failed relationships aren't your fault.
Mm.
You don't have to change a thing. You don't have to risk getting hurt again. You get to sit on a high horse and collect I told you so medals.
Correct.
Being
And they
right
dusty.
mm-hmm. Being being right gives you control. It's predictable. You know the script. They're all the same.
Mm.
But healthy love, that requires risk. It means admitting I've been wrong about some things. I need to heal my own junk.
Mm-hmm.
I might get hurt again, but I'm going to try anyway. The part that survives is the comfort of your own bitterness. It's warm, it's familiar, it doesn't ask you to grow. But here's the kicker: being right won't hold you at night. It won't cook with you. It won't raise your kids with you. You can be right or you can be loved. Most folks choose right because love is scarier. That's the real survival trick and the real tragedy. Because real love takes real work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll be knowing you have the floor. I'll be knowing you have the floor for the roundtable question number two.
For the roundtable question, I'm sorry, I think I was on mute.
Yeah, that
Um,
question
I would
two
say
and roundtable question two. You good?
okay, so I would say 3 and 4. Um, I would say unrealistic expectations. And the reason why I say unrealistic expectations is because everybody's trying to go off of this handbook, right?
Mm.
Mm.
That's been passed down from generations and generations and generations. Everybody's trying to hold on to this tradition,
Mm.
toxic tradition, right? And we already know that anytime you go somewhere and they give you a handbook, when you get on the job and they give you a handbook, in most cases, what's in that handbook is unrealistic because the people that wrote that handbook are not even people that even ever been in the field. Some of this stuff you don't learn until you actually get in the field. And that's where wisdom comes from. Wisdom comes from
That's when, yeah,
experience.
yeah. That's when you get the
So you
field
can't hand
manual
me your
right
handbook
there.
because exactly. So you can't hand me your handbook like it's a one size fit all.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing is, I can read and I'm gonna go to scripture. I'm not a Bible thumper, right? But I think it's very relevant. And my thing is, I've I've had scriptures that I read or that was read to me when I was a kid, and I took it one way. Then I had scriptures that I read myself when I was like 15, 16, same scripture. I took it a totally different way. Then I
Yeah.
had the same scripture that I would read in my 20s. I took it a totally different way. Same thing for
Come
my
on,
30s,
maturity.
same thing for my 40s, because I'm not
Come on,
standing on the same
growth.
X that I was standing on. Exactly. My perspective is different. I'm not standing in the same spot I was standing in. And so this is why it's called the living word, because it
Mm.
grows with you. So my perspective is not your perspective, right? Where I'm from, what they say, what I eat, what you eat don't make me
Poop. I
shiggity.
already know.
Okay. So these are things. So this is why I say it's the unrealistic expectations, because we keep trying to hold on to things that we just need to let go. It
Mm.
doesn't serve any purpose now. It's outdated. We're holding on to a
Yeah.
lot of this outdated stuff. Okay. My reason for saying poor partnership selection is for the same exact reason. Because we had these particular standards. They would tell you growing up that as long as this person cooks and cleans, that's a good wife. As long as this man go to work and provide, that's a good man, Savannah. That's a good man, Savannah. But he might be toxic. He might be knocking you
Come on,
into the
wait
middle of
and
next week.
exhale.
You know, he might be. So I think that we need to re-examine these expectations when we pick in partnership. And I think we need to let go of some things, right? So that's for the, as far as for the chat question. For the round table question. Um, what was the round table question again?
What
The
part of black gender war survives only because too many wounded people would rather be proven right about the other gender than become honest enough to build healthy love?
Okay, so I think it starts from the root. So even if we go back, like go 400 years back, it was a point in time where they put the woman above the man in a society, and she was running things. And there was a point in time where they put the man above the woman. They keep doing us like this in the black community when it comes down to the woman, the man. 1 minute we up, next minute we up. And you know what happens is when options are opened up now, because now women have more options. We didn't have as many options
Mm-hmm.
and stuff then, right? And I'm not against that because I'm a woman. I'm all for having options. But the thing is, when it comes down to integrity, a lot of people can't handle that, because when you present some people with options, it exposes their true intentions.
What?
Yeah,
She
right?
speaking?
It
She said
exposes
that.
Mm.
intentions. Some people are loyal to the cause because they're in scarcity.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. They're loyal to the struggle. But the instant they level up and they got options, then you see them true intentions.
Mm.
Yes.
So that's
Come
what's
on, I've been
happening.
Mm.
on.
That's what's happening with the women and the men, because now we come of age. We are the age of options. We're the age of technology. We're the age of all of this stuff is at our hand. We have more options.
Right, right, right.
And so now you're able to see the true intentions of people. And that's what's hurting, because everybody don't have good intentions. So we
Hmm.
have to be very careful when we're vetting people to make sure that we gauge in those intentions.
Yes.
Because I hear what you're saying, but the audio need to match the video,
Correct.
you know. So
What you say you
yeah,
buffering though?
that's it. You buffering real bad,
Mm.
real bad. Yeah.
Yes,
So yeah, I land
indeed.
my plane there.
Yes, indeed. Perry, you have the floor. You muted.
Um, with
There you go.
regard to the chat question, I'm going with unhealed personal experience,
Mm,
poor partner selection,
mm,
weak discernment, and then rigid gender expectation. And the way I put
mm.
it, and the way I put it, because I come again, I'm coming from an older generation, so I can't put online gender wars as an issue
Yeah.
for some of the failed relationships. I mean, it may be a part of that now, but that's only a recent phenomenon. We've been having poor relationships that predate the internet, so I'm not gonna put the internet on. I'm not gonna blame the internet for all of this now and social media. But the way I will explain it is more or less we don't know who we are, we don't know what we want, and then we listen to the wrong people.
Mm.
Uh you don't know who you are. You find somebody that fits what visually appeals to you, or emotionally appeals to you at the moment. And if you're young, if you're a man, then you listening to your fellas at the barbershop. If you're a female, you listening to your girls at the beauty shop. No, I'm not talking about Dr. Campbell's beauty shop, but I'm talking about your girls who you listen to. I mean, because that's where that's where we get that supposed sound advice from. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and so when we talk about being right, and I'm when you enter marriages, you enter relationships, we all have this propensity and desire to want to be right.
Mm.
Uh, but if you've been in a relationship a long time and you learn that being right is not synonymous with being victorious.
Mm-hmm.
You can be right and damage relationships. You can be
Yeah.
right and alienate those who you love. Uh, or to put it more succinctly, uh, quit treating your relationships like the straight or hard moose because you keep winning and you still putting the world
Oh,
in danger.
He said that.
Every
Dustin, you
week
got the
you got a
floor.
victory on the straight or hard
No,
moose.
no, no, you can't finish. No, I'm taking your glass. Go ahead,
I'm
big
putting
bro.
it
Go
down with
ahead.
a bang.
Hold everybody hostage. Golly. Cripple everybody economy. You the straight on me. Golly, Dustin, you got the floor. I'm sorry, my bad. Jay, no, you got the floor.
So I want to say every one of them, but I do believe in this modern day time, these online wars are creating or they're fueling the unrealistic expectations. We are in a time now where you're seeing tradition is clashing with modern. And I've said it before, like so it's leaving people confused on which direction and how should they govern themselves. And a lot of
Mm,
people we're in a space where we're having to redefine what that is. And I'm gonna go back to what I previously said. We're in a space now, so we're really having to tap into self and say, "Hey, what do I want? What do I desire?" Uh, within each relationship, and I think that's what's lacking. So it's we're in that space, but eventually everything will smooth out as long as we keep having these conversations and having these dialogues. You'll see all these things come together. So we're in the chaos phase. We're in the explosion phase, and everything has to sort itself out. So that's
mm,
what I'm looking.
mm. Yes. Yes, indeed. Dustin, you have the floor.
You know, I'm all above type of guy, so it's five. But get straight to this war thing. The whole gender war is stupid. Let's get that out the way. And it's only amplified because it was bitter person get 50% off podcast microphones apparently throughout the summer. Because the saying is misery loves company for a reason. They want you to be bitter and single with them.
Mm-hmm.
Man, man.
Now, Dustin, who you working for? What microphone company you came to come advertise today?
I'm
They
advertising.
need to
They can
pay
burn
you
them all.
for this little quick
My license
commercial
be
you just.
done. Shit, all of us going too god doggone far out here.
Oh
They
man.
wanted to god doggone get Kevin Samuel out of here so bad they wish that man dead, and all it did is make more disciples of him. Just more ignorant motherfuckers out there. Male, female, non-binary, transgender. It don't matter. They all saying stupid stuff on the line.
I told y'all he said the baby was ugly. I don't know why y'all. Oh man, man. Golly, man. The part that um the part that survives is the part that gives people permission not to change, y'all. I mean, like, if all men are trash, I mean, like, I don't have to examine my selection. If all women are gold diggers, I don't have to examine whether I bring safety or not, honesty or not, discipline or not, or emotional value or none of that above. I mean, if marriage is dead, I don't need to have to prepare myself for covenant. You feel me? And it's a bunch of people that's exceptionally ready for companionship, but not ready to step into covenant.
Mm,
If everybody cheats, I don't have to become faithful. For what? Everybody cheating. If vulnerability is weakness, I don't have to risk being seen because I mean, like, it don't matter no way. The gender war lets wounded people feel wise, if you will. It lets bitter people feel prophetic, like Orobosete, prophetic. And that's not the case. You ain't got no spirit nor no power. What is you talking about? It it lets irresponsible people feel victimized when they are the one that's victimizing the people. It lets lonely people feel superior to the love they still secretly want and can't find nor produce. But nobody wins a gender war. I just want y'all to not, I just want you to know that. Not men, not women, not children, not elders, not families, not communities, especially black communities. The only winners are the people selling wolf tickets to the fight. Notice I did say wolf tickets because you ain't even gonna get in. so,
mm,
so the question is now who is winning? The question should be who is healing, who is becoming safer, becoming honest, accountable. Who can repair harm should be some of the questions we asking in our community, and we're not. I mean, who can love without controlling? Because that goes to it don't have to go together. You ain't gotta love me to control me or control me to love me. What? Who can receive love without punishing vulnerability? I said that earlier, especially when it's some of the very vulnerable moments that I've expressed or um made known, right? And then that comes back to slap me in my face. No, I don't want to have to deal with that because companionship cannot survive contempt. I'm going to say it again. Companionship cannot survive contempt. And once we stop performing love and start building it, we have to ask ourselves the real question: which structure is holding the house? Especially if it ain't love. Um, round three. Um, Dustin, your shot. If a
mhm.
relationship has no plan for debt, emergencies, illnesses, um,
Disability.
disability, children, aging parents, housing, or inheritance, is it truly a partnership or merely two people sharing feelings and expenses until a crisis exposes them both?
Well, it's a partner. It's still a partnership, relationship, whatever you want to call it. It's just probably one that foundation is built on the sex is good because all those things come with planning a life together and not just waiting for the next time we can get between them sheets.
Mm, mm, mm. And he muted.
Yeah, you
Man,
could.
that is the weight right there. Feelings are real, but feelings alone don't carry a household, y'all.
Mm-mm.
Structure carries weight. A plan, a surefire plan carries weight. Truth carries weight. And life does not care about how cute the pictures were if the foundation was never poured, if it was never poured properly, if it wasn't, I mean, you can't, yeah. Dustin, man, you can't be telling people that Dustin say you only with them because they sex was good. Um, I be knowing your shot. What should and Jay know? My bad. I be knowing and Jay know. What should a person have confronted, disclosed, and begun repairing before inviting another human to build a life with them? I be knowing you got the floor.
I would say, I would say,
I know.
recognizing your generational cycles that's happening in your family, because in most
Uh huh.
cases the cycles that you go through in life that you're struggling with, most cases your struggles are very similar to the struggles that your parents had, very similar to the struggles that their parents had. So I think it's very important to, if you're able to, right? Because some people are adopted, some people go through foster care, but
Right.
if you're able to have that type of access, I think
Hmm.
that you should closely examine what your generational curses are. So you
Yeah.
can be sure that if you end up bringing children into this dynamic, that you're
Hmm.
able to recognize that way you can extract it properly, because you can't do that if you don't even know it's there.
Correct.
It's like flipping on the light switch where you don't be stumbling all over everything,
Correct.
you know. So
Mm-mm.
I think that plays a major part.
Indeed. Indeed. Jay, no.
What I believe a person should build up is their mental health. And kind of going with I be knowing was saying,
Yes.
it's asking those questions. Me personally, things I learned about myself, I noticed in relationships I wasn't as emotional as a lot of people are, in relationships. And so I had to go ask those questions. I come to when I followed the trail, I figured like my mom wasn't as emotional. And when I followed that
Mm,
trail, found out my grandma wasn't as emotional. And I found out that my grandparents was sharecroppers. And
mm,
so they lived similar to the life of a slave,
mm-hmm,
and they had no space for emotion. And then I learned that my great
mm-hmm,
grandmother wasn't emotional. So that's how I went up my tree. And so some of the resentment that I may have had with my immediate family, I had to let go because I realized they couldn't pour from an empty cup. So
correct.
uh,
Ooh,
they can't get what they don't have, and so that
correct.
helped me in letting that go and moving and just moving in the space and moving forward. So I believe everybody should go start sitting down, having them interview questions with, and like I said, if you got family that's around, have them questions with them, talk to them,
Mm,
you know.
mm-hmm.
And I guarantee you're gonna find some deep answers. You're gonna find some answers out about yourself. Um, I
Yes,
believe that's it.
indeed. Yes, indeed. That is maturity, y'all. 100%. That is maturity. You don't have to be perfect before you love somebody. If perfection were required, everybody would still be single, if you ask me, or single for forever. I mean, population would not be as large as it is right now, and they wouldn't be trying to eradicate. Did I say that out loud? Let me move on before I start some more stuff. Dr.
Mm.
Campbell,
Yeah.
um, your shot, your shot. I almost opened another can of worms. What must black women, excuse me, what must black women be willing to examine in themselves? Hyper independence, contempt, control, emotional testing, hidden resentment, or the belief that receiving support automatically makes them weak?
All of it needs to be examined.
Mm,
But let's put a name. Let's name the big one. The belief that receiving makes you weak. That's the
mm,
mothership. Everything else floats off of it. So I'm gonna break it down. Hyper independence. I don't need nobody. That's not strength. That's a wall. It keeps you safe, but it also keeps you alone and exhausted. Contempt. Rolling your eyes at his ideas, his efforts, his existence. That's not honesty. That's disrespect dressed up as keeping it real, or it kills love quick. Control, running the whole show because you don't trust him to do it right. That makes you his manager, not his partner. Managers get
mm.
replaced, partners get cherished.
Ooh.
Yeah. Emotional testing, setting traps to see if he really loves you. That's not discernment. That's playing games. It pushes good men away and keeps toxic ones on the hook. Hidden resentment, being mad at all men because of one man or several. That's a poison you drink before hoping he dies. It rots you first. The belief that receiving makes you weak. This is the crown jewel. If you can't let him provide,
Oh
protect, or pour
my.
into you, you're not strong. You're stuck in a prison where you have to do everything yourself to feel valuable. The real work, examine why help feels like loss of control, why soft feels like vulnerable, why receiving feels like owing. You don't have to be hard to be vulnerable. You don't have to do it all to be worthy. Let him show up. Let yourself lean. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. The strong know when to put the weight down.
Mm, mm. I'm
You
trying
got
to
to
tell
know when
you.
to put it down.
You better know when to put it down. You mess around, give yourself a hernia. Many black women didn't become independent because independence was cute. They became independent because somebody had to keep the lights on.
Pour it into them.
Especially, right, especially knowing that somebody had to raise them cheering. Cheering.
Mm, mm,
Somebody had to make decisions, sound decisions. So, you know, even had to survive disappointment.
mm,
Golly. But survival does not automatically become relationship skills, y'all. That's not automatic. That's the armor that
real
protected
survival.
you while you were alone can can definitely injure the person you trying to stand with or have stand beside you. I don't ask me to come aboard so you could. Ooh, never mind.
Mm, mm,
Because I almost said that, and I think it's a little too. No, don't ask me to come aboard and you mess around and Nolan me. Don't Nolan me. Deceitful demon, I rebuke you. Perry, you ready for your shot?
Let's go.
What must black men be willing to confront emotional absence, hidden finances, infidelity, rage, disappearing under pressure, refusing domestic responsibility, or demanding respect without demonstrating reliability?
I want to answer this from two perspectives. First, from a female perspective, because I had to ask some females,
I
some
know you ex my
sisters,
sister. I know you ex my sister.
had to ask some sisters, you know, what were the deficiencies they saw in men. And one of the biggest, while infidelity, of course, comes to the top, it wasn't among women of various ages. I'm hearing that one of the biggest frustrations they have with our brothers is this whole thing of ghosting. I've had
Mm.
sisters who told me that they've been in developing relationships or at least starting to develop good relationships. Nothing seemed to be going wrong, and then all of a sudden the brother just ghosts. No
Mm.
call
Maybe they
back,
put out too
no,
early.
just nothing.
Man.
And so you have to understand what that does to a woman with this inability to find some closure. They're okay with saying, okay, tell me I'm not the one. But the fact that you just walked away, you just remove yourself from the equation, says a lot about us as men. And as one woman, one of my older sisters told me, when you find a weak man, if you follow him around, he's going to show you the woman that made him weak.
Ooh.
Either his mother, his grandmother, or some ex lover in his life. But women produce weak men because
Mm.
they allow them to remain as they are. A strong woman will change you. A woman who you love will change you. Now, does that mean that you won't have any mistakes? I've known guys who been in love and still infidelity came a part of the picture. I've
Mm.
known guys who were in love and still there was some other extremity that was a part of it.
Mm.
That's our human nature. And I know that that's hard for our sisters to accept in some ways.
Mm.
But then when I look at that from the male perspective, I grew up during a time where young men were taught to be good providers for your family. Establish that foundation. But I was also a part of a generation that saw strong fathers who were good providers also be emotionally absent.
Mm.
As Jano said eloquently, they grew up during a time that having that connection with their offspring was not seen as something that was tangible. Just if I provide a roof, I put clothes and shoes on your feet and provide a way, I've shown you love. And that is true.
Mm.
But young boys don't know what it means to be emotionally connected with another man, which is necessary. You have young boys whose father has never hugged them. Young boys, my son is 35 years old. When we see each other, I'm still hugging and kissing him. Men need that emotional connection with another man. It's not making you weak. That's to strengthen us. We need that emotional connection. But unfortunately, what we see is the rage.
Mm.
Mhm.
You know, the domestic violence in our community is off the charts.
Mm. Mm.
And it becomes, and it's just one of those things that simmer under the surface.
Man,
Because no brother really checks a brother until a brother gets in jail, and then you might get your ass beat down.
you just might get your ass beat all the way down.
Right. But where was the nipping in the bud?
Hmm.
And so,
Who humming?
the um but I think one of the things that we really
Huh?
need to address first and foremost is that emotional absence, because it really distorts the the ability for families to nurture effectively. They children can't get it all from mama.
All
They
right,
need to
right.
know dad is there. They need to know daddy loves them as well.
Absolutely. That's the truth, y'all. I mean, respect is not announced. It's experienced. Leadership is not a title, y'all. It's a pattern. And if the pattern that we see, we fear it, or it's like I be knowing say it's scarcity, even or inconsistent, maybe even dominating the person that wants it so bad. That's not leadership. That's damage with the crown that we put on your head. We allow you to do it. Golly, golly. Pull me
Oh,
up,
and let me
somebody.
also say this one, Chris. Demanding respect without demonstrating responsibility makes you a pimp, not a father, not a
How?
lover. You a pimp.
Wow.
Don't mute your mic now.
Oh,
Say what you said.
gotta let that breathe.
Yeah,
That was heavy. That's heavy.
that was. What you say, Dr. Campbell? Now go on mute your mic. That's the number two.
Yes.
You want to tell everybody the baby ugly tonight too, huh? Golly. So man, pull me up, Dr. Campbell. I ain't even gonna say nothing. I'm gonna leave him alone.
If your love does not produce more truth, safety, discipline,
Golly.
ownership, healing, and protection for the next generation, what is the relationship building besides memories, photographs, photographs, and a temporary comfort?
Um, so if I could for a second give y'all the backstory on some of the questions that I've been asking that I proposed actually to the crew on the night. Of course, I am single. I'm not in a relationship. I date, but that's about it. I'm not dating with sexual expectations or anything of that nature, right? And so, um, yeah, I just want y'all to know that I look at black love as something very powerful. Like I stated in the beginning, I believe that black love, if not already, has to become an institution, not just an emotion, an institution that tells the truth. It keeps record. It prepares for emergencies. It protects what is valuable. Um, it survives hard sessions or seasons because it was not built on mood and or seasons alone, right? Um, and I know that many may not, you know, see that to sound romantic, or some even reject romanticism. It's not for everybody, but it is definitely real because children do not inherit chemistry. They inherit culture, patterns, especially those patterns that we normalize. I mean, like whether adults apologize for their wrongness, even to a child, right? Um, whether money is discussed or hidden at the family table, whether conflict means conversation or destruction. I'm gonna have to end up going to the neighbor's house or my grandma's house because my mom and my daddy can't get their stuff together. Um, they inherit whether men and women are present, and I can't just say men are present because I've seen children live amongst their mother, and the mother was not present, and I mean at all. So I can't just say men. I'm telling y'all what I see, not only in the dating game or the dating pool, but I'm telling you what I see from those that I engage with as well. Our children, and they inherit whether women are protected or only expected to endure. That's that's what a lot of mess is being exposed to the next generation, and we're not in a situation currently to pass on some of the same empty cups that Jano mentioned, because you didn't have the ability to build relationship with your child like we have the luxury of doing today. You build too close of a relationship with your child back then, you liable to wake up the next morning and they been sold to somebody in Mississippi and you from Birmingham. I mean, th- our children inherit whether or not our elders are honored or abandoned, whether love is safe or scary. Um, and they want to know, is this why love is so hard to come by, or to become a structure or an institution? Is it that hard? Well, I'd rather deal by myself. I'd rather smash and pass. Period. One honest conversation, one budget, one debt plan, one savings plan, one policy, one will, or living will, one repair agreement, one real apology, one boundary with messy relatives, one child, watching adults disagree without destroying each other, one home where truth can live without fear, 100% without fear. That is legacy, not perfection, consistency. Because if our relationships only work when money is good and times is good, that's not being tested. We don't know what our love gonna look like once it goes through the ringer. Especially if it only works when nobody is overwhelmed, grieving, unemployed, caregiving, scared, or ashamed. It has not been tested. Real life will test it for daggum show. And when real life enters the room, enters the home, enters the relationship, we'll um, we'll either have structures or excuses. Period. Black love deserves more than survival. It deserves vision, preparation, ownership, honesty, glee, grace, accountability, safety, repair where repair is definitely possible and needed. We don't want, again, to be calling the Coast Guard to tell them that our sump pump, our pillage pump is down while somebody's being choked in the background. We don't want to do that. We are not each other's opponent. We are not each other's collection agency. We're supposed to be the one on the same side against the pressure, against the ones that's targeting not only us as the elder or us as the parent, but them as the next generation. That's the institution we have to rebuild and build and resupport and supply the needs. Not just dating, not just marriage, not just companionship. A culture where black love becomes strong enough to protect black families and strong enough to protect black communities and outlive us all. That's black love. That's the black love I'm talking about. Check question number 3. What needs to happen first if black companionship is going to become stronger? Put a 1 in the chat for personal healing and accountability. Put a 2 in the chat for financial honesty and household planning. Put a 3 in the chat for better partner selection and discernment. Put a 4 in the chat for a healthier definition of provision and partnership. And put a 5 in the chat for all of the above. But don't think you're going to get away with it because I want it in a particular order. What order do you put that in if it's all of the above? Roundtable question for this round is can we honestly call it partnership when two people share a bed, affection, and bills, but have no shared structure for crisis, property, children, caregiving, conflict, aging, or inheritance? Dr. Campbell, you have the floor.
Okay, so for the chat question, what
Mm-hmm.
needs to happen first if black companionship is going to become stronger?
Mm-hmm.
All five, but order does matter, just as you stated.
It do,
So we're going to
especially
start with
with this
number.
one.
So we're going to start with number one, or you'll mess up the rest, right? So here's the sequence. Step one, personal healing and accountability. Start here. That's a non-negotiable. You cannot build anything solid on a cracked foundation. You got to heal your wounds, own your mess, stop bleeding on people that didn't cut you. And this is the work before the work.
Mm.
Step two, a healthier definition of provision and partnership while you're healing. Provision isn't just a paycheck, it's presence, protection, and peace. Partnership isn't 50-50, it's 100-100 with different roles.
Correct.
Redefine what a real man or woman even means. Ditch the old scripts. Number three, uh, better partner selection and discernment after you redefine. Now you actually know what to look for because you're not just because you're not chasing trauma or fantasy. Pick with your eyes open. Watch actions, not words. Red flags are gifts. Don't ignore them.
Mm.
Step four, financial honesty and household planning. Once you've picked right, now you get practical. Lay it all out. Debt, income, goals, who pays what happens if somebody falls. No secrets, no shame, just math and shared vision. The
Mm.
order is heal, redefine, select, and plan. You can't skip to financial planning if you're still choosing broken people. You can't choose better if you don't know what better means. And you can't redefine partnership if you haven't faced your own damage. Fix the person in the mirror first, everything else follows. So now to the roundtable question. Can we honestly call it partnership when two people share a bed, affection, and bills, but have no shared structure for crises? Nope. That's not a partnership. That's just a sleepover with consequences. You share a bed, but no plan. If somebody gets sick, you share bills, but no talk about who gets what if one of you dies. You share affection, but no agreement on how to fight, fair, or raise kids. That's not a team. That's two people crossing their fingers. Real
Mm.
partnership means you've uncovered the ugly stuff. Who handles what when the car blows up? Who takes care of whose parents when they get old? What
Mm.
happens if one of you can't work? Who gets the house if this whole relationship goes south? You know,
Man.
you haven't you if you haven't talked about those things, you're just roommates who kiss.
Wait, what?
Strapping, man. I told you that. The bottom line, feelings are for tonight. Structure is forever. If you got no structure, you got no partnership. You got a temporary setup waiting to get exposed. Call it what it is. Love with no legs.
Love with no legs. Golly. IB, you got the floor.
So to answer the chat question, the order that I will put it in is number one, personal healing and accountability first, right? For obvious reasons.
Hmm.
You need to fix yourself before inviting somebody um, into your world. I would say number four, a healthier definition of provision and partnership. Because
Hmm.
once you get to know who you are, once you get at one with self and you know what you need, then you know what you need in a partner.
Hmm.
So quite naturally that will fall right after that. Better partner selection and discernment. I think that goes hand in hand with number four, to me. And then number two, once you have that established and you see that you and this person is equally yoked, then financial honesty and household planning would automatically fall into place.
Hmm.
So yeah, so I would say all of them. To answer the question, can we honestly call it partnership without it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You can't have a partnership. Okay, so I know it's impossible to get someone that thinks exactly like you,
Yeah.
that share every perspective. You're going to have some type of disagreement, right? But you
Hmm.
need to at least have a parallel perspective of what a partnership is supposed to look like at
Mm.
the end of it all. It needs to at least be parallel. You need to, when it comes down to priorities,
Hmm.
when it comes down to, yeah, priorities. I would say priorities, prioritizing what's more important because when you have these conversations, you may come to find that you and this person share a different type of priority list. And if it doesn't align, that definitely could be a problem because
Yes,
there's certain
absolutely.
things that should be more important than others. Right? For example, I'm gonna go a little personal. What stops me from spending money that I'm not supposed to be spending, which is a really good exercise, and I just want to share it with y'all because it's something that I end up learning along the way. If it's some things I need or some things that I like, right? Because my TikTok cart is full, right? I got almost 80 some items in that TikTok cart, right? Hey, you know, but I write down the things that I want on the page, and then right next to that list, I write down my necessities, my priorities, and things that I need. So when I write these two lists out right on side each other, I'm able to see what's more important, right? So that'll stop me from emotional spending. It'll stop me from spending money on things that I'm not supposed to be spending money on. Because
Right.
I can clearly see on this list, this needs to come first. Sometimes it may be some things that's in your priority column that rank higher than certain things in your priority column. You don't
Hmm.
want to run the risk of making something more priority over something that ranks higher, but you was unaware because you didn't write it out and you didn't see really what was going on, right?
Absolutely.
So you want to
Absolutely.
make sure that you're with a partner that at least have a parallel perspective over what should be in each column and what should rank higher when it comes down to that priority list, or it
Mm,
will be an issue when it comes down. So no, I don't think. I think it's a lot of people that sleep in the same bed with each other and all these wonderful things that you named in this question, and they are not parallel, and that's where the is being torn apart. So no, you can't have a connection like that. Ain't no way.
yeah. Kissing roommates, you say, Dr. Campbell?
Kissing
Yeah,
roommates.
J Nell, you
roommates
have the
and
floor.
kids. Love with
Look,
no leads.
I think number one leads to all. Personal healing and accountability is the gateway that's going to open up every other understanding and aspect of the whole situation. Um, when you holding yourself accountable, you're gonna say, I need to get my money right.
Mhm.
When you holding yourself accountable, you're gonna say, I'm not picking the right partners. You know what I mean? So the accountability, it may hit you to number three first or number four first, but it's gonna eventually get all of it. So, and no, you can't have no, you cannot have a shared structure if you just, I mean, it's not a shared structure if it's not a partnership and y'all just doing the do and all these things like that, and just there's and really what we doing. That's what I'm at. In my mind, what we doing? You know, at a certain point of age in your life, you looking for growth and development. You know that you playing 18-year-old games, 20-year-old games. At that point, if you're not trying to connect with a person, y'all not trying to build,
Yeah.
and you just going in circles. You staying in the rat race and you going in circles.
Mm.
So yeah, with you gotta have some type of shared structure. You got to and when you connecting and you got two that's connecting, that structure going it's gonna flow in place. You know,
Absolutely.
so and y'all both understand both taking in accountability and stuff like that. It's gonna flow into place. Everything gonna flow like a river.
Yes, indeed. But to say, you got me going in
In circles,
circles.
yeah, yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, round and round, yeah,
Well, we got to pay for that. You
Yes,
better stop.
indeed.
yeah.
Man, Perry, you have the floor.
Regarding the chat questions, I'll say number one, personal healing and accountability. And if I could rephrase that, I would say check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Because I'm bad for your health. I promise.
Uh, then the next one is better partner selection and discernment. Uh, and when I thought about that, one of the things that I think that we often don't openly admit to ourselves
Mm,
is that uh and it leads to the finger pointing is just that when we have a partner in a relationship that somehow causes it to get off kilter, or the partner somehow loses their way, one of the things that we get most upset about is that a failed relationship is really a reflection on our choice.
mm.
You know, and we don't ever want to take that responsibility that I had an
I messed
active
up.
role
Yeah.
in this choice, and so we want to put it on the partner, which lead, and especially, I mean, you have a family, it just leads to other issues.
Right.
uh the next one would be a healthy definition of provision. um and I would say that's more or less of identifying who really wants to grow like you want to grow.
Mm.
I mean, because some people want to grow, but if they don't want to grow the way you're growing, that leads to conflict.
Stagnation.
Yeah. Uh then financial honesty and household planning. And my thing to that is I understand you might want that big body Benz, but if all you can afford is the Ford Escape, get the Escape and buy a Mercedes
Ford
key ring
Focus.
until you can get it.
Wait, buy a Ford Escape
And get a
and
Mercedes
get a
key ring
Mercedes
until you can get it.
key.
Uh but regarding the roundtable question, I go back to I don't know if any of you know Reverend Zan Wesley Holmes, great pastor out of Dallas, was a black congressman, black House representative in the state of Texas back in the late 70s. Reverend Holmes married me and my wife. And I never forget one of the things he said was that one the things that can really tear down a family is is the is when we walk into it not understanding the things that have grounded us. And he
Mm,
said, you know, if you come from a family where you all had dinner together at every day, y'all sat around the table, but your partner came from a family where everybody just sort of ate dinner whenever they wanted to. It was never a gathering around the table. Those are the things that can begin to fracture a relationship because what your partner is and Dr. Cat, I know you love that. He said the your partner is like that mirror. You know, when you look in the mirror and you got that other mirror behind you, that can see so you can see the things that nobody else sees behind you. That's what your partner is. That's the
Could be.
reflection. That's the input that you want from a partner is that
mm,
part that no one sees and even you can't see in yourself, but once you
mm.
begin to see it and begin to reflect it, it should help you build.
That's right.
Man.
And you know, and so it's amazing because when me and my wife have found ourselves in conflict, I've had to go back and say, now, you know, I'm just trying to be that mirror that's behind you, trying to help you see something about yourself. And she said, now I'll fix the crack in your mirror before you
Ah, I know my sister trying to come
Yes.
back. I already
Oh,
know my
yeah.
fix
sister
your
trying to come
crack
back.
mirror before you use that one on me. But you know, and I do say that to say if there's not a point where you and your partner can't find that place
Mm,
where you start at that you can find common ground, if you forget how to navigate back to the places that help center you
hmm.
and help center your family, you're lost.
Hmm.
Man, man. Dustin.
I keep it short and sweet. I'm going number one because you got to fix you before you go out there and try to mess with anybody else. And two, as it was said before, y'all aren't partners. Y'all just roommates. Go ahead, call it a day. Split them bills 50-50 and keep it moving.
Y'all roommates, kissing roommates, bumping uglies.
Some of them not even doing that. They living in different houses, but they still married.
My chat question is definitely number one. I have to take a personal accountability as well as be willing to heal those things that are not right within me in order to receive the rest of everything else. Um, including the understanding of what a healthier definition of provision and partnership is. I have to example, I have to at least be able to be exposed to that by vision, by, by watching some individual that's been married maybe 20 years or something of that nature. And so I definitely would have to go with option one for the chat question. Round table question. Can we? No, we cannot. No, we cannot. I mean, we can call it romance all we want. We can call it companionship, affection, love. You call it all that. But partnership requires structure. And everybody gets older as we know, but everybody faces losses. Some people will get sick of you even. Maybe even lose a job. A parent may need care. Like I said earlier, children may need more than what's expected, especially once they get into sports and all that other stuff that they want to be exposed to. Dustin just told us from I had to go to uh uh some practice and then another practice. In a little while, it's gonna be dance recitals and this, and then ensembles and all this other stuff. And so, you know, those are the things that we have to understand that we're willing to engage in when we find companionship or looking for companionship. You know, um, the question isn't, especially if it's two people that never talk about these realities, their life will never have the conversation, for them. The question isn't, it then becomes whether it happens at the kitchen table or in the emergency room, at a family meeting or at a funeral. It's going to happen, but where is it going to happen? Around a budget or, finding out we this house has been foreclosed? Is it going to happen inside of counseling or outside of chaos? I mean, around a plan or during a collapse. Family, we definitely have to stop confusing proximity to partnership.
Mm, mm,
Sharing space is not the same as sharing structure. Sharing bills is not the same as sharing vision. Like they said, you ain't nothing but my roommate, especially if we share affection. Uh, is it, and not understanding that it's not the same as sharing accountability. We share children, but we have to understand that's not the same as sharing parenting. That's not the same. We may share the same last name, and I want you to understand that that's not sharing the same mission. That's not a mission because you rock my last name because you got a ring on your finger. If the broken and broke empire keeps profiting from our loneliness, resentment, unstable households, and the people we raise within them, or the practices we allow that happen within them, and the untreated wounds, then we have to ask ourselves, what must we heal? What must we confess? Surrender, even. What must we structure? What can we build as structure? What must be rebuilt completely, tore down from the ground up? So Black love can finally become strong enough to hold not only the community but the house as well. That is the change, y'all. That's the change that we definitely need, because if we build the standard in the house, it bleeds out to the community. And those individuals that understand the standards from relationship, from companionship, from community, then begin to have those same expectations go out into our community, and individuals are then raised in that standard with with the same expectations that the elders had ideas of. Um, this is our final charge. Words for the week. Dr. Campbell, you will start. I'll be knowing you can follow her. Jay No, the Sun God, you can definitely follow IB. Perry, you, then Dustin, and then I'll close us out. Dr. Campbell, you have the floor.
So this week we talked about love, money, wounds, and who's really to blame. So here's what we're going to stop. We're going to stop auditing each other's pockets while the system robs both of us. We're going to stop building ideologies to protect our ego. We're going to stop calling trauma standards and fear discernment. The work is simple, but it ain't easy. So we're going to start to heal our own junk before we ask somebody else to carry it. We're going to pick with your eyes open, not your wounds or your followers. We're going to plan for the storm, not just the sunshine. Build something that the next generation can stand on, not just a scrapbook of temporary comfort. And so we're going to recognize that we can be right or we can be loved. You can be comfortable or you can grow. You can blame the world or you can change you. The system is rigged. The past is heavy, but you still got a choice. Be bitter or be better. Choose better every day. Now go and build something that lasts.
Yes, indeed. I'll be knowing you have the floor.
I would say make sure that you start with yourself. We can't be out here trying to save communities, save other people's lives without first starting with ourselves. Because
Exactly.
any type of organization that we ever had, as far as the Black community is concerned, was always infiltrated from the inside. And the way that it was infiltrated from the inside is because people didn't start with self. So if you have these weaknesses and you have these triggers and you have these traumas, this is what they're using to infiltrate you. This is what
Hmm.
they're using to tear down the structure. So it's very important that you start with yourself first. What the old folks say, sweep around your own front door before you come sweeping around mine. We can't be out here trying to save communities when our households are falling apart. We
Correct.
can't be out here trying to save communities when we're not even communicating with our children.
Mm.
All on CNN with the cameras, all on the camera, talking to the communities and stuff like that. You can't even talk to your kids. You can't even talk to your own spouse. But you're trying to talk these people through their problems. Make it make sense. So the math definitely has to be mathing. We got to start ourselves. And so that's what I close with.
Yes, indeed. Perry, you have the floor. I'm sorry. Jay,
Oh
no, you have the
man.
floor.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Self. It starts with self, as we've been saying before. Then it goes to my brother or my sister. Then it goes to family. And then it goes to community. But the basis of it all is self. People talk about knowledge of self and what knowledge of self is. All the time, people think knowledge of self is going back into history, studying what the ancestors did, and all that. That part is true. But to me, pure knowledge of self is when you go within, and you ask those questions within, and then from that point, we can build trust and build trust. I'm gonna say that again in case it went over anybody's head. We can build trust while building trust. So I'm talking about trust in each other, and I'm talking about trust funds. You know what I mean? And growing from that and building structure and doing what needs to be done for the kids, for the next generation to come, creating structures that's gonna last until the end of time. And I'm gonna leave it at
Yes,
that.
indeed. Yes, indeed. Perry, you got the floor.
Um, whether our title is husband, wife, mother, father, um, friend, companion, common law, big daddy, or who, whatever title that is. The one title that supports all of that is caregiver.
Mm.
Uh, and I had a one of my big sisters, Chris Smith, who celebrated birthday. Happy birthday, Chris. She shared something with me, and it really stuck with me. And it was about being a caregiver. And she says being a caregiver has hold on, let me find it. Uh Gosh, being old. See, that's what happened to you. Um, she says one of the greatest lessons in life that being a caregiver has taught is is having the humility uh to know that you can't fix everything,
Mhm.
Mm.
is having the patience when you feel like you have none left. uh it's hold on, let's see, it's having compassion when you're exhausted,
Mm.
and it reminds you that strength isn't always loud, but it's just simply showing up. And so leave I say all of that because that really learned something in that. And what I want to share for this week is don't become so certain that you stop being curious.
Mm. Mm.
Ooh,
Mm. How?
Because being the smartest person in the room is truly overrated.
very much so. Dustin, you have the floor.
Well, usually, I come with a little quote of the week or, whatever. But I ain't really got one today. Well, I have one, but I'm going to change it because of the topic of today. I'm going to just let, people, I'm going to just let people know, hey, think for yourselves, especially when it comes to relationships. I'm going to let you know something. All them little sad songs y'all like singing along with to go with your bitter life, all them depressing lyrics, guess what? The person who wrote it is married in a relationship, happy, while they feeding you the blues. So think for yourself. Don't be going along with this song. Y'all know too many of y'all have told these men to get to the left, and you ain't have a right to go to yourself. Y'all have listened to Chris Brown with the deuces. You the chunk the deuce. You ain't got nowhere to go either. Y'all two homeless people living in an apartment together. Cut the foolishness, man. Think for yourself. Maintain your relationship how you maintain it. Even if that means cutting off your parents. If their relationship advice ain't helping your relationship, stop talking to them about it. That relationship conversation is between you two. Build it there. Then worry about everybody on the outside. And turn off them sad ass songs. Even Mary J. Blige got happy.
Oh wait. Uh, family, family tonight. I definitely want y'all to know was this episode was not about choosing sides, right? It was not about black men against black women or black women against black men. It was not traditional versus modern. It was not provider versus independent woman. It wasn't about submission versus leadership. It was not about who ruined dating or who made it harder. Tonight was about what happens when the pressure of a broke empire enters the house and convinces us to treat each other like we are the enemy. The empire is the empire pressure is real and is the real enemy, but pressure cannot become permission for harm. The economy may explain stress, right? But it does not excuse lying, cheating, abuse, humiliation, public humiliation, financial scarcity, emotional abuse. It doesn't excuse control, contempt, nor does it, make excuses for the weak. That's the weak, WEAK, not for the WEEK. But if you weak all week, I don't know what to tell you. You see what I did right there? No, just kidding. So I do have some words for the week though. Tell the truth before the crisis tells it for you. I'm gonna say it again. Tell the truth before the crisis tells it for you or tell on you. If you owe money, say that in your relationship. If you are scared, say that in your relationship. If you need help, say that in your relationship. And if it's you need help outside of it, say that out your relationship. If I mean like if you're not ready to build, say that too. You can say that, hey, look, I just want to bump uglies. We don't have to, we don't have to be nothing. That's all I want to do is just be in your company. Let me, be in your presence. Some people just likes to be in your presence, whether you at work and they seeing you tinker and be ready for those types of things. Number two, stop letting social media discipline your wounds. I'm gonna say it again. Stop letting social media lick your wounds since you didn't understand it the very first way. Every viral clip in and on these platforms is not wisdom. Not every last one of them. Some of them give you some good insight, but it's not wisdom. Every podcast is not healing. Every episode, especially if you watching the round table talk, every episode is not healing. Sometimes we chastise over here. We chastise over here. So if you're looking for your ego to be stroked, don't come over this way. Cause we BTA. Last time I told y'all BTA. We BTA over here. And if you go to the Disconnect podcast, it's BTA over there too. So be mindful where you go. I'm just letting you know. Every hot take is not prophecy, y'all. Some folks don't want you whole. They want you engaged. Some folks don't want you prosperous. They want you broken. Not broke, but broken. Build structure before the storm. I heard Dr. Campbell say that. Talk about talk about money, debt, savings, children, housing. Even if it's you about to move into the next downtown apartment complex that's being built in Beaumont. Who knows? Especially when you have to deal with other unforeseen things, like Dr. Campbell said, illnesses, wheels. Am I in your wheel? Am I on your? Are we on the same lease together, or am I on the deed? Do we share the deed? You have to find out those conflicting rules as well as family boundaries. What love requires when life stops being cute, because it do stop being cute. Leave what is dangerous, repair what is repairable, and stop confusing the two. Some relationships are not good relationships. Some of them are, but they just need counseling. Some need confession. Some need accountability. Some need to be done and be over with. Individuals have to define boundaries, even. And at some, like I said, They just need to call it quits because I'm sick of hearing your woes about this, that, and the other. And I give you advice, or we give you advice, and the next thing you know, you back to the same trough that you was eating out of. That it's redundant, and most people in today's society is not playing with redundancy. Prepare yourself for the kind of love you keep saying you want. If you want abusive love, go get that. Don't bring that to somebody that's not abusive. Don't bring that to somebody that knows what love actually is. Don't ask for honesty while hiding. Don't ask for peace while creating chaos. Don't ask for provision while refusing contribution. You what? You living in Trump's America. Everything is expensive. Very much so. So, even when you get to be in the space of living like a solo project, you still have to govern your solo self, your single self accordingly, because there are people that are watching you. Family, black love is not weak, not by far, but it is definitely under pressure. And pressure does not destroy everything. Pressure exposes everything. And if I heard correct when I was growing up, pressure either bust pipes or create great diamonds. And from what I'm seeing here in our community, we have one of two things: bust or fold. So the question is not simply what or why are relationships failing. The question is, are we building something that can survive real life? That's the work. That's the responsibility. That's the legacy we must create. To my sister, Dr. Catherine Campbell, thank you for bringing balance and a clean cut with clarity. To my big brother, Perry Busby, thank you for bringing structure, history, and accountability. To my little brother, Dustin, thanks. Woo. Thank you for keeping us grounded in real life. To my little sis, I be knowing from the Disconnect podcast. Thank you for pulling up with that insight, that fire, and that truth that always get on the phone. We'll probably talk again Thursday, I promise. To my little brother, Jay No, the Sun God, also from the Disconnect podcast. Thank you, little brother, for bringing your voice, your perspective, and that brother energy to the table. Of course, you see we full of the brothers here, so you're more than welcome. But we're gonna definitely find you another co-host, some more feminine energy on this at this table, Dr. Campbell. So don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. And
Yeah,
of
we
course to
holding
the
ours, the right idea. We holding ours.
yes indeed, yes indeed. To the Disconnect podcast family, much love from the Roundtable Talk. Thank y'all for loaning us your co-hosts on this evening. We enjoyed them. I did. I know I did. To everyone watching on Facebook,
Hey,
YouTube, all across every platform on the Knowledge is Power Network. Um, I definitely want to thank you for thinking with us and not just reacting with us. This has been the Roundtable Talk Show, episode 71, Black Love in a Broke Empire, Companionship, Healing, and what Money Pressures Keep Doing to Us. Take this conversation back to your house. I hope you were able to listen to it. Bring it to your relationship. Take it back to your family. I heard everybody on this panel say tonight, go in your bathroom mirror and talk it out with yourself as well. Bring it to your mirror and ask the real questions. What are we building that can be whole? I'm Christopher Jones. Good night, family. Protect your peace, protect your household, protect your children, our elders, and our future. And as always, stay prayed up, stay prayed up, stay prayed up. Thank y'all for watching. God bless. Good night.